I was on mute, so let's try again. Hello and welcome to the Wikipedia Weekly Network. Here I'm usually joined by Albin Larsson. I'm Jan Ainali, but don't worry, Albin will be here soon. And if I recall correctly, he will be continuing on the glaciers from last week, whereas I will be trying out this tool that I'm having a link here, and I'll also try to share that link here in the chat so that you can find it easily, because it's a kind of long to, it might not go out to all the platforms, so you will see. The Lexemes challenge is a way to improve a small number of Lexemes each week. And I'll share this screen here and show you a little bit better and turn off this banner thing. So as you can see here in the top, it could be creating new Lexemes, but the important part for something to pop up and be deemed as complete in this challenge is to link the senses. So you first have to create the senses if there are none, and use one of these three properties. So either directly the item for this sense, which is the most direct one. That one is very hard for verbs because we will not have a lot of verb items in Wikidata, and that's why we have this predicate for P9970. And then sometimes for some adjectives and some other words, the demonym of could be used. But I don't think we're going to have anything of these this week. We might have several of these and perhaps a few of these. And if we scroll down here, we can also see like the challenge has started. It starts on Mondays and goes for a week. So this is the end of the week. And I think this is very nice because this is sort of like the start, and this is the current progress. So we can see it follow increase over the week. And each week we have these in the top here. These could be 7. It's usually 7. Sometimes a little bit fewer. I don't think it have ever been more than that. These are sort of the concepts that we want to create Lexemes to link to. And by having them words that links to the same Lexemes, we can make some sort of advanced stuff, like in Abstract Wikipedia, or the thing that Mahir is streaming with Ainali and User, finding out in creating sentences or in language with the same meaning. And these are the meanings then, the concepts. And as help, we have a few links here to Wiktionaries and to Wikipedias, English Wikipedias for this. I think it's because I have English here. And the labels in the top. And sometimes it helps going there to see more. And then we have the list of languages, and going down here, and what is filled in here, those are the Lexemes that are already done. They might not be perfect Lexemes yet, but they're still good enough to be counted in this challenge. So what you're actually looking for when you're joining this is to see, oh, here are the empty ones. These are the ones I need to do. And that's what I'm going to try to show you today. And hopefully no one has sniped me on the Swedish here, so there's still a few empty ones, because I feel most comfortable editing in Swedish. So you'll have to bear with me there. But I think the actual connections, I use the interface in English, so you will see what we're going to do. So we can see here we have for walking, there is something in Swedish here, and this is, oh, very nice. When I hover over it here, you can see that it is a noun. So we are missing the verb. So we would like to add the verb to this. And I'm pretty sure that the verb is already in Wikidata, but it's not connected with the sense. So let's start out with that, because that should be probably a fairly straightforward one. I'll just click this to get here. So this is the noun. We can see here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see this better because it's very small. Yes, I'm alone for now. Albin is joining in a few minutes. It was a little bit late, so I'll start out alone here. This is the noun. As we can see here, it has a sense, and here is how it's connected. So we're going to do something similar, but on another. We're going to find the verb for this. So let's go and see if I can search for just the word here. I would like to have that auto-completed. So we find it here in the top. This is the Swedish verb for walking or to walk. And now let's see. We have an item for this sense, go. Let's see what that. Yes, that's not wrong. I'm actually going to remove the walk here because that's more general to go. And then I'm going to add a new sense then. Oh, that's not the new sense. That's another. So there is the. I'll do this in Swedish and. Now say move with your legs, because that's actually the thing that I'm. And now I'm going to use the predicate for, which is the one they're asking for here. So this is the one I'm going to add predicate for. And I'll write the English one, see if I find it. What's this, the one? I usually find it easiest to actually copy it from here. So getting the exact right item, probably the one. It wasn't exactly no. So that was good that I copied that. And that is sort of like gives Swedish 1 point to this challenge. It doesn't give me the point. So that's a little bit fun. It's sort of like a competition against challenges. So it's very anonymous. And then in the end, we can see which one has been most improved during the week. And everyone that's completed get a gold star here. You can't see, but it needs to be 100%. For the silver, it needs to be more than 80%. And for the bronze, more than 50. So when it's 7, you're going to need more 4 or more. And we see Swedish already had the bronze here. Let's see. German has the silver one with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7. And then there's a few gold ones. But let's see if we can get Swedish up to. Now it takes a little while. I don't know how fast it updates, but if I reload here now, I don't think Swedish. No, so it doesn't connect immediately. I think there's something going on a little bit every one and then. Last update 7 minutes ago. Yes. So we'll see if we'll see an update here during the time. But that added one more thing here. And it's not uncommon. And we can see here for Norwegian managed to connect 3 different lexemes. There's 1 verb and 2 different nouns. And I guess this could be the spelling here. Here we have the other 3 different verbs actually for eating in Norwegian. They seem to enjoy talking about eating. So let's move on. So I added one here, and now let's see if I can fill a gap. Cuisine, that one seems a little bit tricky. I don't. That's the word we use in Swedish. All right, now I'll go with that. So I'll just copy it here. I don't expect actually that we have this as a lexeme. So that will show another tool then, I guess. Oh, we did. Not bad. So it didn't have a sense yet. So it's completely empty here for sense. So it's not connected to the competition. So I'll add a sense here in Swedish. Actually, I'm going to do a lazy one here. I'm going to add it in English and just say cuisine. Apparently this is okay. I don't really like it, but this one is a little bit hard to express in Swedish. Yes, there's a lot of lives now. That's true. And yesterday was a long one with Lexemes as well. Very good. So I'm a little bit inspired by that as well, going forward with Lexemes. And then, of course, I'll need to add a statement. And this one is a noun, so I'll use the item for this sense. And it says to one. Let's see, was that the right one? Yes, it was the right one. So I'll just click that and accept. And that will give me another notch here, filling up this probably. Then we have to eat. We already have the verb connected. Eating. Let's see if we have the noun. If not, I think I'll skip it. I'll skip that. So I'll count that as incomplete with just one. We have the. Let's rather see what this says in Swedish. Yes, that was the same that I used. Yes, I just did the cuisine. It was a very quick one. And now let's go to reading. We have the verb. I guess we could do the noun as well. I expect that one to be in there. Let's see what the Swedish label says. That's the label I expected. So I'm going to copy that and search for it. See if we have that in here. We do. Very nice. And then we need to connect that one then. Doesn't have a sense at all. So we'll have to add that. The act of reading, I will say in Swedish. And I'll use the predicate for here. And there we had it. Copy that ID to get the right one. So that's this one connected. So now we should get 2 on the reading here. And then we have 2 more empty. Let's see, what's that? Learning. So we might have both a verb and a noun here. So let's close a few here and see. What does the item say? The label in Swedish. Oh, yes, that's of course one way to say it. The Swedish one is more about the method of studying, which I think is a little bit not exactly what this is saying. So I'm going to move that to the alias and call this a more literal translation of learning. So we'll improve an item here in between as well. And then we'll check if this one already have a Lexeme in Swedish. It does. No sense, so we'll have to add a sense. And I'm going to use the act of learning sort of in Swedish here, because that seems most straightforward one to choose. And then we need to connect it to this item. So we'll copy this. We'll add a new statement here. Use the item for this sense, since this is a noun. It suggests 13,500. Was that the one? Yeah, that was the one. All right, great. Just publish that. And now we'll look for the verb, see if we have it in here. Now this could also be a noun, but it's the verb that we're looking for. In Swedish, we sometimes have similar things, so one have to be careful to pick the right one. And let's be inspired by the all right. By that sense, so we'll use sort of accumulate knowledge, or I'll say that might not be perfect, but at least. And then here, since this is a verb, we'll use the predicate for and paste that in learning. All right. Moving forward quite well here. So we added both a noun and a verb for the learning here. On the sleep, we already have the noun. So let's see if we can find the verb as well. So let's go in and search for the verb. I embedded this in here. It is. That's strange. That's, oh, interesting. So we have two different items for sleep. Let's see what's the difference between these two. So this one was the one from the challenge. And this one, permanent duplicated item. All right, so I could just change it here. And that would mean to be the same. And then it will pop up in the challenge. All right. That was a little bit tricky. On here we see an interesting thing. Then to generate sentences, if you watched the stream with my here yesterday, this is very important for making it possible to, I guess, put the words in the right order and decline the words properly. So we need some more information on these verbs. And I guess in here, in Swedish, we have another one to put someone to sleep when instead of being, well, you could, to put someone into sleep, you could be the agent, but to be put to sleep, you would be the patient rather instead. So like, where does it go? So very interesting. I'm not very good with grammar, so I usually try to do some of the first groundwork for someone else to be able to polish it. So I think that was the one with sleep here. Let's see. Yes, and then we have respiration. And I guess we could have two, a noun and a verb here as well. Let's open the respiration one and close a few sleep and learning ones. We can start with making that a lowercase. Oh, I could use that. I forgot I had it. And we have this description. This is very interesting because this is more like what's happening in the lung. It's not to breathe, but I guess from the sort of the tone of the other ones. Well, let's see. This seems to have stuck with the respiration rather than going to breathing. So I'll do that as well. Yes, to get the oxygen and also get rid of the waste. Very inspired by the little bit shorter. Did I paste that? Oh, it's just complaining. It's not a capital, but we don't want that. All right. So I think I'll make a noun for this at least. So let's see if we already have it in Swedish. I'm not as sure. This one is a little bit more uncommon word. Yes, all right, nice. So we'll see here. I have a little bit of a script coming up here that gives me a link to a form. That's interesting. Yes. So then either the English description is weird, as you say, or there could be subclasses of some general respiration, and then this one could be for the one with oxygen. Perhaps we shouldn't have it like that. I don't know. That's a good point. Doesn't make a lot of change for me here, though, creating the Lexeme for it. And now I don't really know which one this is in English. Let's try this one and see what it gives me. So this takes me to another tool. Oh, it took me to the right one. It added the unfortunate L there, though. So this is the, I'll zoom in a little bit as well. And here, I've shown this before. It was quite some time, though. It gives you a form that helps you with these sentences to decline the words properly, and then also adding these things. And now they're in Swedish here, but you'll see. So I'll add the. Right, then let's just check. All right, so I'll create. And then that'll actually give me all this on the Lexeme. Very nice, and saves me a lot of clicks otherwise. It doesn't give me a sense, though, so now we'll have to add that again. And I'll actually, even though the point we made here about oxygen, I'm still going to copy this. It's good enough for the explaining. And since this is a noun, we use the item for this change. And let me check the 87. Yes, so we'll go with this. And then I guess this could also be a verb. Let me check if that one is in here. Right, let's search. Nope. And this one is very uncommon. So I'm hesitating on starting it. let's have a quick look here. So I made the verb for walking. We made the noun for cuisine. We had the verb here. We added the noun for eating. We had the verb here. We added the noun for reading. And then we added for both learning and to learn. And we fixed the sleeping ones and created a new lexeme for respiration. Then, of course, there's a lot of more things you could actually. Where did I do with my respiration? Like, this is still a very bare bones lexeme. Like, it's usable because it has the forms, it has a sense and the basic information here. But it would be good to add some sort of like external links to something, places. There are some bots doing that. There are also a lot of other things. We had maybe actually checked. I think the reading had a lot of things here. It has the conjugation and it has the stem. Yes. There's actually a bot going around doing this in Swedish, so I don't usually bother adding them. I'm not sure if that's true for other languages, but it's very convenient to not have to do it. But what is usually not doable by a bot is adding like usage examples. And since Albin hasn't popped in yet, I'll actually try to do one here for respiration, because that could be a fun one to actually have an example. And I really like to go to the Swedish Parliament and look through their documents, since we have a lot of those documents in Wikidata. So I can use stated in if I find anything. So let's see if I can spell to respiration, spelled exactly like English, but pronounced very differently. Oh, I get a few things in English. It's not a common word in Swedish. Here we have, that's in actually the right one. That one is a short. I usually like to have short sentences in the example, so they're not too long and confusing. This one was a short sentence, but it doesn't really explain it. It could be possibly be used. Let's have it as a backup if I don't find anything better. And this one is just a list. Let's see. This one is a good one. But this is a good one because here we have it in another form as well. So that's good. Although I don't think we have these documents in. Oh, from 1879. I don't think we have those in either. And here's a very nice example of it being used in a different sense than with oxygen, because it's talking about the ground is having respiration. Oh, and hello, Albin. I'm almost stalling here doing examples. I was actually just a few minutes ago, I completed the entire thing. Let's check to reload here.
Oh,
We switch, so we can see
yeah,
how much
I
more. Yeah.
I succeeded to time some technical issues with me intending to be a little late, and yeah.
No worries. I guess technically we weren't even late.
No, technically.
Yeah. Maybe it goes every hour. So let's see if we can see anything in the end of this. If it has updated and if my things pops in. Are you ready to go, or should I do the example I was about to start? You're muted.
Start example. I have a couple of seconds left.
Yes, great. Oh, all right. So I'll do the one I found first here. Where did it go? It was on the first page. Respiration, and in Swedish. This one. So let's first check if this one is in Wikidata, so I don't start out with something. And I think it's this one. Let's double check. Yes, this is the from 2008. This one from 2008. So let's go back to the Lexeme here. There. So I'll add a statement here, and I'll use the usage example. And now I'll actually have to find it here in the document. This one is large. I'll have to open it again. And then let's Control F. Here, let's go with this sentence. Is it so large I can't copy it? All right, there we have it. So I'll paste it here. I'll have to say which language is used, Swedish. And now I'll add a few qualifiers. I like to do it here. So it demonstrates a specific form. This one is going to be the first one. So when it actually, so this is this one. And then we'll demonstrate the sense. It's also going to be the first one because we only have one. And then I'll use the language style here. There we go. And I think this is formal language, not this one, but this one, because this was in a report in the parliament, so it's rather formal. And then as a reference now, I can use, stated in, and stated in this report. And retrieved today. And I think that's not half bad. So that gives you a little bit more of a sense of how the words is used. Really good examples in my version should sort of like when you read the word, it's not just going to be a proper sentence. It should also give you some idea what the actual word means. Here it's a little bit, it's implied. It's not a perfect sentence, but it works. All right. I think I'll leave it at that and hope that you're up to speed now.
Indeed. And no, I do not have a bit of a summer house today. Let's see, did I get the size right here?
Yeah, it looks good.
That's it. And last year we looked at this property, or least common properties used on glaciers. And my intention then was to get inspiration about odd things we could edit, but we ended up using it to find odd things we could correct. But I thought we would hoping for a similar um, something similar today with like unexpected results from one of these orchard queries. So I thought we would just pick something. Um, New coordinates. That's terrible glaciers. Oh, let's have actually glaciers by country just to get an idea of what's in Wikidata. And I think this one is one that you give them different colors for different countries. Let's see. We already got this default map here. 7,000. Yes.
Mm.
So, for example, Sweden, Norway is a good example here. That the ones that are on the Swedish side is a lighter blue, and the ones in Norway is darker blue. Um, and we see one here that's in the Czech Republic. It's an ice fall. It's a little off there, so I want to look at that. This one might be an historic one, I imagine. No, it's probably on a volcano.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually the case. In Russia, we don't have a lot of data, other than in like the north. There we got some. I'm looking for like interesting cases. I think, for example, Japan doesn't have any glaciers anymore, but they have a couple of ones in almost in methodology.
Mm.
We got a mountain glacier here, and I think this is like a Norwegian Iceland, so it shares color with Norway. Actually, Canada shares the same color, so it might be.
Yeah.
But let's see, Mexico. I imagine we are dealing with mountains here. That's glaciers in plural as well. That's interesting. Could it be from a Wikipedia article?
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually a group of glaciers. Okay. I have it open, used a couple of items to have like something to work from. Ice fall only in winter. Czech Republic. That's not how a glacier works. But it doesn't have like glacier directly here. It must be like a subclass.
Yes.
Subclass of glacier, it says here. So let's see what the. Yeah, so icefall is just a moving part of a glacier, or a rapidly moving part of a glacier in this case. And let's see here what the water instance of is. Crag. Crag. Landform made of solid rock. And it's a landform made, I imagine, because it's the Chester planet, like it's like sandstone, where ice taps form in the
Mm-hmm.
winter. But it's not an ice fall in this
No.
sense.
I imagine there's the confusion of the label.
Yeah, exactly. The name as well. But I think let's double check that we got a good description here. Yeah. So if one would just have a little bit of a quick look here, you would see that it's not how it's supposed to be.
Does it have a description in Czech? Since this was in Czechia?
Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't be. No, it does not. So in case anyone can make a description, that's good. I only know like seal in the Czechs because it's like on the finish line when you do races there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it. So I'm gonna close down that one. I think we made an improvement. Then this was one in Portugal. It's one of those geosites I think we ran into later. And it says it's an ice cap. Ice mass just covers less than 50. Yeah, that's probably the case in case it's ice. But I mean, ice cap is something we use for very large thing anyway, even if they aren't that large. So let's see here. Geosite, I'm pretty sure, is something specific for Portugal. Yeah, place of geological interest. Let's see, is there a Wikipedia article? No, there isn't. Can we see something on Wikimedia Maps here? I wish, like on Wikipedia, we got like layers we can show here in Wikimedia Maps and like links to external services. That would be great here because then we could, for example, go to a service with some type of satellite images and we could actually zoom in and you see, is there actually a glacier here? We can't do that here easily. A great idea for user script, by the way, I think. So I'm gonna skip this one. This was the ice cap we looked at. And here we were in Mexico, and we are having multiple glaciers and not one, as I read the label and the description. And it's an instance of glacier. That's an easy solve for it. But it doesn't have like a Wikipedia article. So what I imagined here was that there is a Wikipedia article about a group of glaciers. And then I see how this could happen. But here we actually have, we don't have that case. We should actually split this up into each of the various glaciers. And we could say things like they are all located on this mountain range or something like that. If there would be an article, we would have something to work from. But this makes it rather tricky, as well as we don't have any external identifiers here. So I'm actually wondering, like, what's the history of this item? Has it been split or something like that? It is actually from import, where the external identifier hasn't been kept. So this is very common for glaciers. It's all from the same import, and it's really tricky to sort those ones out. So for now, we're gonna skip those one. I think they are, because they origin from the same import. It's kind of, someone needs to sit down and trace that back and just work with it.
Yeah. There is an
So
item
let's
for
hope
the
that
mountain,
this.
though.
What
There
did
is an
you say,
item
Jan?
for the there is an item for the mountain. It has the same name, but without the glaciers in the.
Oh,
That might not help a lot. Well, there's an image there on the.
that's interesting, especially if there is an article. Let's see.
Yes.
And there is an article. Let me
So if you search for it,
just copy this and search.
Without the glaciers, just the first part.
The volcano?
Yes, I think that's the one.
Yeah, that makes sense. And there we got an image. Let's see English Wikipedia. There we go. I'm just gonna search here for glaciers. It is the lowest peak containing permanent snow and glaciers in Mexico. We got a second match here somewhere. But it's not that much of relevant information. It's more the history. We got a couple of images as well. We can probably make a connection between the two items, I think, because the location of this one is the volcano. So at least a little bit more. For the next person who feel like, I'm gonna clean this up.
Yes, and also help not them being accidentally merged.
Indeed. So there we go. That's a great find. we could also located on landform is maybe even better. Let's see if that's what it's called. No.
In on physical feature, was that? Look at the top one there.
Let's have a
I
look
think
at
that's
that
one.
again. Yeah, me too. That's a little better then. Located on the specific physical feature.
Yes, and the Swedish one is the one you were looking for, I guess.
Oh, indeed. Let's see. There, that's the name. Let's move this and remove that old statement. I have mixed feelings about things like this. It's more specific, but someone like making a query is less likely to use it. So I'm a little bit split about it, but I try to be as specific as possible. And we have another one. It has the same type of information. I'm imagining we're dealing with a similar case. Yes, we are. Same import. Can we just try a similar test here? Just see what autocomplete. It picks up a mountain with the same name, or like it's very similar at least. So let's see if we can essentially do the same edit. Is there a Wikipedia? No, it's Subway. Let's go to unames then. And it's mountain, but let's actually compare the location, and we can't really find it from the article or search, but if they are in the same place with the same name, maybe we can conclude that they are. So if I zoom out enough for me, it's south of Mexico City or southeast. No, they're quite far from each other. It's at least twice the way from Mexico City. So no, I can't be confident that they are related even. So I'm gonna skip that and move to another glacier in Mexico. Here we do have an image. And a commons gallery and a Wikipedia article. So what could we possibly improve here? Let's see the article. Maybe if it's named after someone. It's an ice cap and fern. It's located on, there we go. That's one new statement. And this is also interesting. It's an ice cap that contains 9 glaciers. So I actually want to switch the instance off as well. So that's really nice. So gonna remove it. No, actually it's still imported from English Wikipedia. So gonna keep that ice cap. There we go. It should complain over the reference. Remove warning. And located on landform, which had a different name. Or did I use search for landform finally? That's the mountain. That's really nice. We got a bit more specific image. Do we have a more specific property for this type of image? I think we just asked this a week or two ago.
Yeah, it's sort of like an aerial image, but I guess this one is satellite, and
Yeah.
we didn't find one for satellites.
Right. No, then we're gonna leave it for now. I think, depending on what we find on English Wikipedia. No, it's just that one. Okay, so we don't have like a regular image because that might even be preferred. Let's see. We got a bit of statistics here as well. It's the highest point of Mexico. I imagine on the glacier itself. I imagine it's like a peak glacier, or one of the 9 glaciers is. And this is just a range of elevation. We do have an area, 9.08 kilometers or square kilometers. But that one doesn't match the information in the table. So I'm gonna skip that one. So maybe we are complete with this one for now. I think so. Okay, so that's the
There was a commons category, so there might be some more images.
Oh, indeed. Was it that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's check that before.
No, that
well.
one was the first one we were. Oh no, it was that one. Yes.
Okay, and this is for all the glaciers. Oh. The trick is also that this is about the entire ice cap, so it's like, which image does the best job of showing as much as possible? I imagine this at least could go in the aerial view.
Yes, that one would be a nice one there.
So let's pick up this one.
No. Oh, E.
No.
Oh.
E.
There, yeah, the third one.
Oh, that's, and then outer gonna be no. Yeah. So that's a good addition as well. And I thought there was some more, like, I want to say normal images, but I think this got a little bit more information actually, even if it's not preferred. So maybe we get a better way of using this one in the future. For now, it's very useful because it also says that we actually need to update the description as well here, because it's not about one glacier, it's about 9. And I think this image indicates that as well. So I'm just gonna change this to plural. I'm not gonna change the German one because I do not know how to. But like that, the English one at least. And we already says it's a ice cap as well. I saw some other interesting things when I saw this image too. We got the United States here with green. But then we got a blue one there, and I saw we got a brown one here. And that's interesting. So I want to...
it's the wrong Georgia.
It's the wrong
It's
Georgia.
not the state, it's the country Georgia.
Indeed, and it says here in the description, Russian Federation. So...
Wait, what? Should it be in Georgia?
Could the coordinate be wrong?
It could be.
Let's see. We have absolutely new information about this one. This is the country I see on the queue number.
Yes.
It's 230. It's so low that it must be the country. Let's see the edit history. And we are dealing with the same import again. That's a rabbit hole, and I think some coordinates are just plainly wrong. And looking at this as well, it's hard to tell, but there is a lot of glaciers in this area, so it's rather likely that the country should actually be the United States, and it's not just like latitude and longitude shifting places. Let's see if the description has actually been added afterwards. Oh, here is another state being involved in it. But the description appears to be coming from the original
First.
one.
No, wait,
And
that's you doing that.
that's me. Let's see what I changed. Or it's my bot, so to say. Oh, I just changed it to a lower L. So this comes from the original, the description.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I'm gonna skip that one. But it's an interesting case, and it's something that this map and query is very useful for. And often I think, for example, this one where it's blue and it's in the US but somewhat close to the border, I imagine it could like be the coordinates that's off, but the glacier actually is in two countries. It happens. But I thought we could maybe find a couple of more cases here. Like here, we got a green one in China, and it says Italy. And it doesn't seem like an Italian name.
No.
Glacier in Italy and Switzerland. It says, oh, I imagine this is a similar case. We got the countries or the coordinate wrong. But it's really hard to tell. I'm just gonna try to like search for the name of it. And
I googled for desolation, or no, I didn't Google. I DuckDuckGo desolation glacier, and it seems to be one in Alaska, which isn't even in that place in US.
Let's see. Yulong Snow Mountain and Glacier Park. Where does it says we are? Let's see here. China. It says China here. And it makes sense looking at the name.
Yes.
So imagine this is probably a case where the countries are just wrong.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not gonna bet on it. Like it's the same import. At some point we figure out how to deal with it. I propose to delete it, but yeah. But that's a bit of how one can use this type of query, and I think this coloring feature of the editor, where you have a layer, it's really nice. And we don't even select the colors here. We just says that everything we assign to the layer variables just get a coordinate by or a color by default. So it's really neat. I want to show at least one more before we. Glaciers in OpenStreetMap without a Wikidata tag. Oh, so this is actually not the Wikidata SparkGL service, it's the one for OpenStreetMap. And this was something I actually used just the other day because in Sweden we have imported all lakes to Wikipedia and to, or maybe just to Wikidata. Just to Wikidata, I believe. And I was looking for like, if we have all lakes in Wikidata, we should probably have all on OpenStreetMap. But do we have the matching Wikidata tags? And I did a query like this to find it out. And it's incredibly useful. Let's see here. It got a bit more update. So OpenStreetMap data, it says a year ago here. And the second one is tag info, like what does this OpenStreetMap tag mean? And then we got a green one, which I imagine is Wikidata, because I think this one combines all of those sources. So here for Glacier without Wikidata in OpenStreetMap, we get 53,000. We're gonna
That's
see
a
if
lot.
it renders. It would be impressive. I imagine not, because I can see like this animation in the background has stopped. So imagine my... Oh, I could actually scroll a little bit here. Oh, it works! Oh, it's a little tricky to navigate. Let's see if we can zoom in on Sweden and Norway here. Oh, this is impressive. I did not expect this one to work. It's 53,000. Oh, but it works. So if I click one here, I see an OpenStreetMap relation, which I can open. And this is also an interesting case. It looks like it has been imported, but what I think it is like, you can see here on the Swedish side, this is the Norwegian side of a quite southern glacier. And the Norwegian import is just offset to the Swedish one. And I imagine the Swedish one is tagged with the Wikidata tag. So someone got a
Yes.
bit of cleanup to do here.
Yes, and it's also, yeah,
Yeah, you can see how it's
very
like cut
interesting.
off.
Yes.
Um, and I imagine because like satellite imagery, we consider it almost like an exact match of the world, but all countries try to match their satellite image like to the real world. And I imagine here it's at least 100 meters, where it differs between Sweden and Norway, because we have different government agency dealing with
Yeah,
mapping the imagery.
it would be strange with the glacier going so straight
Yeah,
along the
indeed,
border
and
otherwise.
it's touching here as well. Also, it could be from different dates. We know that glaciers are shrinking.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of interesting aspects here. Let's see if we can. We got another one maybe on the Swedish side. I think I might click that one. No, it was the same. Then I want the one slightly more south. Here we appears to be dealing with a full glacier. This is also very interesting because we got a source date here in 94, which for OpenStreetMap and the glacier, it's rather interesting because if it still exists even, it's not that large. So this is another great tool because now it doesn't have a name here, but we could technically add, like, I see I've set it to optional here, but we could like say it should always have a name and be missing a Wikidata ID, and then we could just search for it in Wikidata. So that's a way to work with it. But yeah, so two more queries, and I'm not sure we're gonna revisit like much more often here. But I want to get started on creating more ones, because these ones are really good to revisit. And I myself use this page to like, how did I do this type of query? Or this least common properties, I just change out glaciers in it so often because it always reveals something very interesting.
Indeed. All right, let us just quickly see if I reload this now, if we have something new. Yes, it changed something there. So let's scroll down and see if our Swedish stuff popped in. Yes, now we have noun and verbs. We didn't get the noun here for some reason, but all the other ones here and that one new one we did. So now we got a gold medal for Sweden, and we're in the lead for this week. So it's the fun thing here is sort of like it's It's not person to person, it's language to language.
Yeah.
All right. So, and let's see, what was it? Yes. Oh, just some 30 seconds ago. All right. So it was about every hour, it seems. Oh, yeah, no, Breton still to do. Yes, there's so many things to do, so you can't do every challenge every week because there's, yeah. Don't be too hard on yourself. All right, that's it for today then. I think we'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think so too.
And until then, happy editing.
Happy editing.